believe that art journaling, aside from being a great source of nurturing your creative spirit, it's also a really wonderful form of self-care. Self-care has kind of been a buzzword that's been floating around quite a bit these past couple of years. But I know for myself, if I can carve out, even if it's just 20 minutes of me time, of just creating art for art's sake in my art journal, I feel so much better. It makes me feel satisfied that I was able to connect and plug in to the creative spirit, even if it was just for a few moments. I also view the art journal as creating your personal library of inspiration points that can lead to other bigger projects. So it's not uncommon for me to create something in my art journal that inspires me to create a larger version of it as a painting, playing with color palettes. It's just a very free type of creative play, and everybody, regardless of if you're an artist, it's going to help you be a more creative person in your day-to-day life. Just because you put it in your art journal doesn't mean that it has to live there forever and that it's set in stone. Whatever it is that you're releasing into your journal spreads, whether you're deeply personal in your journals in a literal sense, or if you're personal in your journals in a visual sense, it's a language, a personal language that only you know. Sometimes it's nice to release that and say, I don't need this anymore, and move on. It's still part of the history. It's still in there. It still lives inside those pages. But working over and working through and onto something else, I find to be super healing and empowering also. And I love looking at my journals and knowing that I've traveled with these things for years and years, and that I can look through them and I could see the evidence of the old and add elements of the new, and they could all live together simultaneously. It's also a question of resources. You know, you're using paper and paints and water, all of the creative practices that we're doing here. So reusing as much as we can rather than going for new. I create so much that it makes me feel a little better that I am just kind of consolidating all of my creations. And I don't need a library of 100 journals in 20 years, 30 years. I would love a smaller library of just super personal books that I've really gone the distance with, and I've really stretched them to their capacities, and they've stretched me to my capacities in terms of creative problem solving and the issues of repair. You learn every process that you do, you learn from and you expand upon for future creative projects. So I'm just really encouraging you, carve those times out for yourself to work in your journal.